It's been a great summer of Milwaukee Brewers baseball, but a bad Tuesday. The roof is not caving in on this team despite the bad day at Wrigley Field. We'll get to that next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's a tough day in what has been just an amazing summer for the Milwaukee Brewers. Hey, everybody, Chuck Freimund. Good to have you along. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Longtime sportscaster here in the state of Wisconsin. Proud fan of the Milwaukee Brewers, my favorite team here in the state. And great to be covering them for a third year in a row on Locked On Brewers. And been covering the team for a long, long time for other media outlets as well. Panic ensues as the Brewers lose 2 straight at Wrigley Field. Yeah, they committed some mistakes today. Some bad bounces did not go their way, which have been going their way for the most part this season. Rhys Hoskins, rehab assignment, what to do with him when he returns in September. And we'll look at the Miz in Wednesday's preview as the Brewers face an old friend. All right. I feel like some of you feel like this is the beginning of the end for the Milwaukee Brewers. Man, they've had I don't have to tell you this, they've had such a fantastic season. Okay. They're due a mulligan on Tuesday. They're overdue. They're overdue for what happened on Tuesday. Losing 2 straight to the Cubs. Honest, I'm not panicking. The lead is 7 now in the division. I'm not worried. This team is good. This is a good team. But yeah, it was not a good day in many aspects of this game. Game 1, they got down 5-0. It looked like they were going to pull off one of their classic Vern Gagne finishes. You know what that is? Well, it's the old wrestler, Vern Gagne, when it looked like he was going to lose his match and he was all knocked out, somehow he'd rally for the victory. And the Brewers down 5-0. We've seen this before. Looked like they were going to pull off a comeback, got to within 5-4, did not win. Came back in game 2, scored the first run of the game at the top of the first. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Didn't score the rest of the game. But don't go there. I'm telling you right now, do not panic. Don't say, uh-oh, here it comes. I'm seeing it on Twitter. And I know, as Brewers fans, and in the larger picture, as fans of our sports teams here in Wisconsin, we always expect the worst. And I get it. I totally get it. And especially with the Milwaukee Brewers, who haven't given us anything championship-wise, they've given us a great summer. And I still have every reason to believe, unless this team goes on a prolonged skid, that this team is the best team in baseball. This team did not lose today. This team will not become complacent like other good teams. We've seen the Dodgers become complacent this year. We've seen the Cubs, of course. I call them team lifeless. And at times today, they were lifeless. Team lifeless. The Yankees, they can become complacent. And, the Phillies have a little entitlement to them. Some of these really good big market teams have a little entitlement to them where they just feel like they can roll the ball and beat the Colorado Rockies. The Brewers are not built that way. They are not wired that way. They do not feel like they can just go out and roll out the ball and win games. Yeah, they committed a couple of mistakes. Collins in right field made a mistake out there. Ortiz missed the ball on a throw from Jansen in the first inning. Might have been out, the runner at second base, and was a stolen base. Stuff like that. Brewers used up the replays early on. Runner gets thrown out. Frelick at the plate, tagging from third in game 2. Never make the last out at home plate when you're down by 3 runs. Down by 3 runs, you need more, especially late in the game, you need more than Frelick's run. That's just ABC baseball. Frelick's run, he scores there. Okay, it's 4-2, but you need a few more runs. Don't get thrown out at the plate. So, yeah, I'm not going to get all bent of them losing these 2 games. Murphy, after game 2, said, hey, had a lot of hard hit outs, which was true. They rarely chased out of the strike zone, and they had a couple of bad breaks. I'd say that's right. Not sugarcoating the loss. That was accurate. They played hard. They played hard in both of those games. And that's all you can ask for. As watching this team, and that's what I enjoy about this team the most, about how hard they play. I was on a talk show up ESPN Lacrosse today, and the host asked me, John Papadopoulos, he asked me about holding on to the lead against the Cubs and the way they play. And I said, John, what impresses me most about the Milwaukee Brewers is I enjoy being in front of the TV set every night, or in this case, afternoon and night, and watching good baseball like they're playing. Watching that I'm going to get 100% effort. Not like some of these other teams I mentioned. When you watch the Yankees, Soto with the Mets. The Mets were in town here, and Soto walked around like he had this entitlement. I was covering those games. He's got a little entitlement issue that he's making his $500 million, and that's my problem with these guaranteed contracts. A lot of these Brewer players, they're working for their next big contract, so nothing. They have to earn their big paychecks because all these guys are on their minimal contracts already. But that's the thing about baseball. Some of these guys get their big paychecks. What's the incentive there? Right? It's the only sport that there's not an incentive once you sign that megabucks contract. And the Brewers have a lot of players who aren't on that guaranteed contract. That second contract once you're through your 6 years of arbitration. After that 6th year of service. And, there's players in the Phillies, Dodgers, Cubs, Yankees, certainly the Mets, who are making players a lot of money. This Mets team that came here, you don't see that with the Brewers. I enjoy watching every night the Brewers, even today, you knew that they were going to be in both of these games. When they got down 4-1, yeah, I'm going to say the Craig Counsell Brewers teams, yeah, they were pretty much done. They get down 2-0, 3-0, they were done. But Pat Murphy's teams, you don't feel that way. Yeah, they didn't make the comeback today, but that game 1, they got within 5-4. They're on 5-0. You thought maybe they were going to make a comeback and go all Milwaukee Brewers on us, lose 6-4, and then go down fighting in the 9th inning. And then today, in the nightcap, lost 4-1, got off to that great start, and could not get the tie on after he ran up a high pitch count. Woodruff had some issues, high pitch count as well. Didn't score. I'll put that on the offense today in game 2. Scored 1 run. But the effort was there. Hard hit balls. And what I enjoy most about this team is watching this team go out and give that type of effort. Hey, if you've heard me do sports talk before, and when I've had co-host, people used to write in or call in and call us gloom and doom because thought we were too gloomy on the local team. I'd tell you, I'd be honest with you. And even on this podcast in years gone by, I've told you if I thought, things were not good with the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't feel that at all. I mean, how can you? It has been such an amazing summer. And I'm not feeding you a line of BS here. It's just 2 losses. It's two losses. 24 hours, 36 hours, 24 hours after, winning game 1 against the Cubs. Yeah, if you want to look at the bigger picture, they've lost 3 of their last 4, if you want to call it Cincinnati. But the 3rd time since the middle of June where they have had 2 losses in a row. And what do the Brewers usually do when they lose 2 in a row? Well, they'll rattle off 5 of the next 6, minimally. They'll go on a roll. So they got 2 more games left in Chicago. The lead is down to 7. And somebody wrote me tonight, Chuck, what if the Cubs come back and win the next 2 games? Let's say they do. The lead is down to 5. Am I going to start panicking? No, because this is baseball. The Brewers have just been defying the odds in baseball. Just playing unbelievable. The run that they were on, winning 29 of 33 or something like that, that's compared to like the best teams in baseball history go on runs like that. And that's where the Brewers were. So there's a lot to like. This team is still good. Just had a bad day at the office at Wrigley Field. And I'm just saying, even if they lose the next 2 nights, next 2 days, I still love this team. But they're not going to lose the next 2 days. I fully expect these guys, with the pride that this team has, to bounce back here in the next couple of days. And let's say, they split the next couple of days, they'll still get out of there with a 7-game lead in the division. And going into the final 5 weeks, I'll take that. So, team lifeless came to life a couple of times. That would be the Cubs. And by the way, Cubs fans, I saw you all come after me today after you won game 1. You guys have your own problems. You're talking. You got this Kyle Tucker. You can't even play anymore, and he wants $500 million. You guys have got your own problem. Yes, you struggled with the Pirates last weekend. Last time I checked, the Brewers have a nice lead on you guys. So you guys worry about your team. All right. Well, somebody came after me. Look who's lifeless now today, Chuck. Your team. What have the Brewers done for the last 2 or 3 months? Look at the big picture. I think they were overdue, triple overdue. Woody, 94 pitches in the 5th inning. He was out of there today in game 2. Just not a good day. Just not a good day. Shelby Miller. I'll tell you, the confidence level is low on Shelby Miller. I know he came here with a nice ERA from Arizona, but he has not looked good. Got crushed by the Pirates last Wednesday. Came in this one, gave up that home run in a 5-4 game. That was a big home run he gave up. And, he talked after the game. He says he's got to get more dialed in. He understands he's made mistakes and all that. Shelby Miller trying to find his role. I hope this is not like a Taylor Rogers thing where, remember Taylor Rogers, the Brewers got him from San Diego. We saw him with the Cubs today. And BA kind of told the story of Rogers on the air. Rogers came in here and just did not fit in with the Brewers. Hopefully that's not the case with Shelby Miller. All right, we come back. What to do with Rhys Hoskins? There's some guys who are on rehab assignments. Rosters are expanding, but not by much. On September 1st, we'll get to all that coming up next. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Game time. Game time. You want to go to the games at Wrigley Field this week? 2 more games. Maybe you want to come in. Euchre's Day coming up on Sunday at AmFam Field. That'll be fantastic. By the way, get there at noon for the 1:10 pitch on Sunday. That's when all the festivities for the Bob Uecker celebration are going on Sunday at noon. But get your tickets on Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Game Time is the way to go. When you get under an hour or 2 hours sometimes, closer to game time with Game Time, the Game Time app, those ticket prices start to really drop. Prices on the app drop the closer you get to that first pitch. Incredible last deals. Same thing with concerts. Same thing with the theater. Same thing with comedy shows. Once it gets closer to that bell time, hey, you know what? Those prices are plunging. Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB. And now take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code Locked On MLB, $20 off your first purchase, $90 for 2 tickets. You get $20 off your first purchase. Create the account on Game Time, redeem the code Locked On MLB, $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed with Game Time. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers. Thank you, everybody. Love all the texts, the DMs I get. Nobody's texting me. But yeah, I haven't given my phone number out yet. But I've given you my Twitter address, Chuck Freimund, Freimund. DM me anytime you want. I will always get back to you. I think a lot of you everydayers will know that already. And I will always get back, whether you want to hit me up here or on Facebook. Always, always. I will always get back to you. Maybe not within, 5 minutes, but I will for sure get back to us. Hey, how do you get our podcast? Well, if you're watching on YouTube already, we're on all the audio platforms as well. If you want to get in your car, download us on your Apple app or wherever, Google, Spotify, you name it. We're on all the platforms out there, Locked On Brewers. So you just don't have to watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on the audio version as well. And if you're already listening on the audio, come into our beautiful, not brand new, but our beautiful Locked On Brewers studios. Got all the memorabilia, Brewers stuff, and my credentials and all that for covering the team all these years. I've been covering the team for a long time, and very proud of the Locked On Brewers studio, part of Locked On Podcast Network. You guys, all you everydayers, thanks for making us your first listen to every day here on Locked On Brewers. All right, so Bowers is due to come back. Hoskins, rehab assignment. Chourio, rehab assignment. He's starting on Friday. Now, what happens? The $1 million question is, what's going to happen at first base? What is going to happen at first base? They're not taking Andrew Vaughn out of the first base spot. All right. We still have some time right now to make a decision on all this. You know how things go with injuries and all that, knock on wood. But right now, the Brewers do not have to make any decisions. On September 1st, the rosters do not expand to 40. Remember, that rule that was taken out a long time ago, about a few years ago at least. So they'll go from 26 to 28 now. So they'll add a couple of players. And your dugout is just not filled with all minor leaguers like in the past. I thought that was a dumb rule anyway. Having your roster at 40 for September, that was just a dumb, stupid rule. So you get to expand by 2. So I feel somebody is going to get DFA'd. Chourio is going to be on this roster. Obviously, Perkins is going to be on this roster. Murphy has made a commitment to Perkins and said he's on this one for the long run. And Chourio will be your starting out center fielder. Chourio's coming back, and he's starting. Remember, he's missed most of these games right here in the month of August, since right after the trading deadline on August 1st when he went on the injured list. But what happens with Hoskins? What happens with Bowers? If this was today and Hoskins was ready to play, Hoskins would not be playing first base. He's a bat coming off the bench. I feel Bowers, they would DFA him. Sorry to say, I feel like Bowers might get DFA'd. If there is no roster spot available, as of right now, where would you put him? At the expense of who? Who would you add him on the roster in place of? Nobody. You can't. Lockridge? No. He's been valuable, I feel. Stigler? No. Bowers, I think, would be DFA'd. I think so. Hoskins? I feel like the team having Hoskins coming off the bench as a big bat off the bench, weird, isn't it? Guy is making $18 million a year, 22 with the $4 million buyout next year, coming off the bench, one of your highest paid players, but you're not replacing Andrew Vaughn. Vaughn, let's face it, he's the first baseman for the foreseeable future. He's done enough to earn that. Unless, God forbid, something of an injury happened to him, then you have Hoskins. But Hoskins is backing up Vaughn right now. You're not taking King Vaughn out of the lineup. Not at all. But Hoskins would be a nice bat to come off the bench, right? How about that? 2 years ago, we wanted Hoskins on this team. Wanted to sign him as a free agent. Did. He picked up his option for that second year. And now we can't even find a place to play him. Cannot find a place to play him. And this all comes back because the Miz was promoted. Savali wanted out, and the Brewers were able to trade Savali for Vaughn. And when Hoskins went on the injured list, Vaughn came up to the minors, and we forgot even how to spell Rhys. So Hoskins will be the guy. Got a feeling Bowers will be DFA, but fortunately, we'll have some time to think about this for a little bit. Because there's other pitchers. How many pitchers are they going to keep? How many bullpen guys? Robbie Z, Logan Henderson. He's not going to be a part of this equation, even in the postseason. I do not think Logan Henderson. My gut feeling is because of his injury, he will not be back. Ortiz. Sounds like Ortiz is not going to play on Wednesday. He's got a little bit of a stomach issue, gastrointestinal stuff going on, in addition to a knee contusion. According to Murphy, he had the x-rays done. The x-rays were negative. So Ortiz likely, high percentage, he is not playing on Wednesday. So what happens here? I would think, against the right-handed pitcher, Colin Rea, would you see Terang at shortstop, Ziegler at third, and Durbin at second? Or would you see Monasterio just move into the shortstop role? Terang stays at second and Ziegler at third. I don't know. We'll see how they work that. I'd like to see Monasterio play short. Well, Terang is so good defensively. Monasterio can play every position for you except catcher. But I bet you they go Terang. Oh boy, that's a tough one to guess on. Bet you Monasterio is playing shortstop tomorrow. Could he against the right-hander? I don't know. Interesting. Woody, after the game, says, he was asked, how are you guys going to bounce back from this? He says, you know what? We're not going to be affected by losing 2 in a row. We won 14 in a row, and you think you're invincible. The roof is not caving in, having lost 2 in a row. We are still in a good spot. How will they respond? He was asked. We are still in a good spot. And darn right he is. All right. We'll tell you about tomorrow's matchup, or today, if you're listening to this on Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. I'm doing it. Well, it is Wednesday morning right now. Just after midnight, I'm doing this podcast. We'll talk about Wednesday's matchup, the Miz on the hill for the Brewers. Get to that next here on Locked On Brewers. Thank you, all you everydayers, again for tuning in. Hit Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. All right. Colin Rea on the hill for the Cubs. Colin's been good for them. Sometimes he's given up the home run ball. Last outing against the Pirates last Friday. Got a no decision, went 5 innings on 3 hits. His ERA is 3.99. Numbers against Colin Rea. Faced Colin Rea earlier this year. Contreras went 3 for 3. Yelich is 2 for 5 lifetime against Colin Rea. Miz had a tough start last Friday. 5 runs in an inning and a third. Tough start. I'm expecting the Miz to bounce back. I think the Miz is going to bounce back and give us one. Remember, that was his first game off the injured list. Didn't know if he was going to start or not. We didn't know until Friday afternoon who the starter for that game was against the Reds last Friday. And we had a hunch it might be the Miz, and it was. Did not pitch well. I got a no decision because that was the game the Brewers got down 8-1 and rallied to win the game. So he is going to make the start. I have a gut feeling Miz is going to put in a good one. Now, the wind, I checked the weather. The wind will be blowing in so far. As of right now, wind will be blowing in at Wrigley at about 14 miles an hour coming up. So we'll see. And the Priester is going to go on Thursday afternoon in the finale there. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But Brewers got to bounce back. Hopefully Miz is the answer here. And we could tag Colin Rea. Got a little information we do on Colin Rea, having been with the Brewers last couple of seasons. Did great work here. And Brewers deemed fit to let him go. And he signed with the Cubs. And he's been a nice signing for the Cubs. Been a really nice signing for the Cubs. All right, that's going to do it. Again, thank you, everybody. All you everydayers out there for making Locked On Brewers the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet. I'm going to leave you with this again. Like I started off this podcast, those 2 losses Tuesday, let's flush them down the toilet. And this season is not coming to an end. It's not going to go in the wrong direction. This is not the beginning of the end. There are still 7 games up in the division. My name is Chuck Freimund. Thank you very much, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter, Chuck Freimund, Freimund. Thanks for making us a part of your day every day. I really appreciate that. And I love hearing all your stories. Continue to send me those, where you're from and your stories and all that. I love it. And never apologize by saying, hey, my message is too long. I don't care. I love reading them all. I read them all. I love them. We're in a brewer community. And man, I wouldn't be here without you guys tuning in each and every day on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Have yourself a great Wednesday, everybody.